Check 1 2. I absolutely love that intro. I mean, that gets me hyped every single time. Oh my gosh. Hey, welcome to Rescue Owners Live. This is the season 2 finale. Dun, dun, dun. Get excited. So, listen, if this is your first time joining us, welcome to Rescue Owners Live. Rescue Owners Live is a live show that Beth, and myself, KIRK MOTE, Beth MOTE, we put on a weekly basis for over a year now. And we help give you information on how to grow your business more effectively, efficiently, and profitably, all while achieving your personal, professional, financial goals. So if you've been with us for a full year or more, throw that in the chat. We would love to get some shout outs to those people who have been in here forever. Michael Glover, man, that guy is awesome. Malcolm, man, that guy is here every week. And so we just want to do a few shout outs, but my goodness, if this is your first time joining us, throw in the chat where you are calling in from, or tuning in from rather. Where are you in this world, city, state, social security? Just kidding. Don't throw that in there. We're streaming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. And we are streaming on multiple platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So if you do us a solid and hit that share button in the bottom right-hand corner of whatever you're watching us on tonight, because I guarantee someone in your network needs to hear about what we're talking about here tonight. So big announcement is, hey, this is, in fact, the season finale. What? We need some kind of sound effects. I don't know. So season finale means we are discontinuing our weekly live shows. Oh, so sad.
We need like the audience crying.
I know. We need like the audience cheered and the sigh.
Oh,
I love. Yeah, that's great.
I don't know.
Y'all have been awesome. Y'all have been the best part of Rescue Owners Live, by the way. So no more weekly live shows, but we're not going to just leave you hanging. That's not how we roll. We are going to be moving to a paid programming. Okay. So what that means is it is literally being developed as I speak. And what that means is, we're not doing a live show on all the grams and the books and all the places, right? What we're going to do is going to be a more intimate gathering. Okay. It's going to be on Zoom. We're going to see each other's faces. We're going to be able to interact, talk back and forth, have a conversation, answer specific questions to you, your business, and your situation. And this is going to be a more intimate community as opposed to just throwing out contents to the world.
Be able to target more specifically your needs.
Yeah. So, because when we talk on Rescue Owners Live, it's like high level, it's, broad, but this is going to be Rescue Owners Live 2.0 is going to be paid programming where we're going to be able to dig deep into your specific situation. And so, KIRK, why are you charging? Well, hey, I'm a big believer that the more you pay attention. Okay. And so if you're not paying, you're probably not taking notes. You're probably not implementing. You probably don't have action items. These are all things that are going to be included in the accountability process of our calls. And so that is why you're paying. But guess what? I'm not just throwing out an arbitrary number. Okay. We're going to come up with a very affordable price point that's going to allow as many people as possible to join. But 100% of the proceeds we're donating to Pass the Pulse. Now, let me see if I can do a share screen. I'm curious if I can do a share screen. So share screen. Boom. It'll be like.
Oh, you could have picked a specific window. There you go.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that showing up right though? Okay, cool. Pass the Pulse. KIRK, what is Pass the Pulse? I'm glad you asked. So Pass the Pulse is a nonprofit organization that helps families and communities prevent, prepare, and properly respond to cardiovascular disease and stroke. Okay. So our mission is to essentially create programs that empower and equip every family and community on the planet with the knowledge and resources to prevent, prepare, and properly respond to cardiovascular disease and stroke. So 100%. And let's see if I can stop sharing here because, boom, there it is. We are back. 100%. And I'll throw this link in the chat. Why not? So y'all can check them out for more details about this particular organization. It is officially in the chat. Boom. What that means is when you pay for our paid programming, Rescue Owners Live 2.0, where we're going to be digging deep into a community setting of your specific, issues and problems and challenges that we can work out together as a team. 100% of the proceeds are going to be thrown to Pass the Pulse. And so we're going to Rescue Site Services, our clear vision is to create a world where no one dies from sudden cardiac arrest. And so Pass the Pulse is the nonprofit arm of Rescue Site. And that allows us to then, give people opportunities to donate with tax deductions and all the things, right? So when you purchase the paid programming for Rescue Site or Rescue Owners Live 2.0, that's going to allow you to be a part of creating a world where no one dies from sudden cardiac arrest and helping prepare, prevent, and properly respond to cardiovascular disease and strokes for families and for communities. So if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what does. So that is the big announcement. So let's see here. What I like to do, honestly, I don't really have a big, hey, this is what we're going to talk about here tonight. So if you've had a major takeaway from listening to Rescue Owners Live at some point, I would love to hear one of your top takeaways that you've heard on the show. Throw it in the chat. I'll bring you up on the stage if I can. And this is awesome. For me, I'll just kind of go through some of the highlights, I guess. If you have anything specific that you want to add, be thinking about maybe specific things that we've talked about or we discussed, or one-liners. I know you've come up with awesome kind of one-liners. Just throw you on the spot.
Ooh, I don't know if I'll be able to remember any of the really good ones now.
But before I do forget, and before we jump into that, I'm going to throw in another link. That link is actually a form. So I don't have a way for you to transact with me tonight. I'm not trying to sell you anything about this paid programming. I just want, if you're interested, if you're remotely interested, this is an information gathering form. First name, last name, email, phone number. That's all that you need to throw down. And this is for Rescue Owners Live 2.0 for paid programming. So if that's something that's even remotely interesting to you, or you just want updates about it, go ahead and throw your information. Follow that form right there. It's a simple first name, last name, email, phone number, and we'll keep you posted when things get moving and when things are finalized and we have a way to, transact and all that kind of stuff. Let's see here. Let's see. Facebook. Do we know who that is? I'm working on a similar nonprofit.
Yeah, Dina.
Dina! How's it going, Dina?
Does it not have it on here?
I'm not sure why it's not showing up on my...
Oh, yeah, no, it's not here, but yeah, it is on Facebook.
Well, Dina, that is awesome. I'm not sure where you are in that process of creating your nonprofit, but part of the services that we offer is setting up it's a fiscal sponsor. Is that what the verbiage? So if you can imagine basically a nonprofit with a franchise or a nonprofit. Have you heard of dental service organizations? Basically you have a dental office. It's a single practice, doctor, and all of a sudden it's like someone comes up here and says, hey, would you like us to take care of all your administration and all the things? And they're like, yeah. So basically a DSO, a dental service organization, has under their umbrella is a bunch of individual practices that align with this one person. And that one person allows them to do major things like HR, payroll, insurance, and get major breaks on it because you're under a bigger organization as opposed to you trying to just do all things a la carte yourself. So it's a really cool structure. Think that, but for the nonprofit or side of things. So you have Legacy Global up top, and Legacy Global has all these fiscal sponsorships. So Pass the Pulse is a fiscal sponsorship of Legacy Global. They set up, and actually, I mean, you just reach out to us directly because we got a sign up form where you can, do this whole thing yourself. But they set up your nonprofit, which is a fiscal sponsorship aligned underneath Legacy Global, and they take care of everything. You don't have to worry about setting up your own 501c3. You don't have to worry about all the things you would consider worry about. You could take donations of land, cars, literally crypto, anything that you can possibly think of. They're going to actually vet. They're going to show you how to receive that particular donation and how to transition it into a cash, so that you can actually utilize it into your business. And so it's an incredible program. If that's something that you would like to learn more information about, can you type in support at rescuesiteservices.com into the chat. So just email us directly at support@rescuesiteservices.com, Deanna, if that's something that sounds like you might be interested in, because I'd love to, help you, walk through that process if it would make it easier for someone who's done it a million times. So that's Pass the Pulse. That's, creating your own nonprofit for free. I mean, there's no cost in doing this, and which is great. Let's see. Let's talk about some takeaways. And if you have any takeaways, throw them in the chat. I would love to hear some of your major takeaways. And if you're just now joining us, this is Rescue Owners Live season finale, meaning that this is the last live show that we're doing. We're going to paid programming. So if you're just now joining us and you have a question, throw it in the chat. If you have a takeaway that you've learned from one of our previous episodes that we've done, throw it in the chat. We love to hear those types of things tonight. Marketing is senior to sales. Marketing is senior to sales. That's one of the things that, that's a big takeaway. Your number one problem as a business owner is my number one problem as a business owner. Is your number one problem as a business owner is obscurity. People don't know who you are, what you do, or why you do it. And you got to tell them. How do you tell them? Right? I mean, there's all kinds of ways that you can tell them. But if you don't have your messaging in line, correct, set, memorize, not like, okay, what is my second core value? My second core value is no, because if you don't know who you are, what you do, why you do it, and you try to convey that to somebody, guess what? They can sense that. They can sense that you're not all there. They can sense that, hey, trust is lost that quickly. And so if you really want to focus on breaking out of obscurity, dial in your marketing message. What do I mean by a marketing message? A marketing message is going to be your vision statement, your mission statement, your core values, maybe your brand pillars, your tagline. All these things are things that are all part of the brand messaging. And when you have that messaging, like when I say, hey, what is your vision? And you're like, I want to sell. I want to make money. I teach people how to save lives. That's awesome, by the way. If you're a CPR instructor, which I know there's several CPR instructors on here, I'm also a CPR instructor. But let's reword that. Let's create a verbiage around that. So for us, our vision is to create a world where no one dies from sudden cardiac arrest. Now, notice I said a world. Why would anyone get on board with a vision that's this small? They won't. And so, look at Elon Musk. His vision is going out of this world. He's wanting to go to Mars. And everyone knows that, right? And big people like that, look to them as, an example of marketing and messaging and, aligning, attracting. Look, if you're not, here's another big takeaway is I was saying, I'm just going to keep on rolling unless you want to jump in. You've just been so quiet. Here's the thing. You can only go so far by yourself. Collaboration is the new currency. And if you're willing to collaborate, you are going to grow beyond your wildest imagination. But if you try to do it all yourself, guess what? Yeah, you will have some success. If you stick around, you follow the rules, you can make a ton of money if that's your goal. You can save a lot of lives if that's your goal. You can do all those things because there's a roadmap, there's a blueprint. These are things that have been done before. and you can follow those things, right? But if you really want to make a difference in this world, if you really want to make an impact and provide value to people, you're going to have a team.
We'll see how my voice holds up.
Her voice is dying, so I was giving her a hard time, but I feel kind of bad now.
But with marketing, focusing on the feeling that you create versus the thing that you give them. And I want to say it was like a furniture commercial I saw the other day, but it said something about we create family or something to that extent of like, we create a safe place for family, and they're a furniture store. So, they're focusing on the fact that their couches, their chairs, they're not just giving you a place to sit. They're not just giving you a place, but they're creating your home. They're creating, your family's place of gathering, and focusing on, the feeling that you are exemplifying. So like, say it's a landscaping company, we create your parties. We create the fun block on the neighborhood.
Look at landscaping. I mean, and I've seen taglines along the lines of the yard that everyone looks at,
or exactly
making your neighbor envy, or all those types of things, right? Like, I mean, it's like, figure out what that pain point is, and then I don't want to say exploit it, but like that is what you're doing, is like you really focus in on.
Well, you're reminding them the reason why they want you,
right? Because people buy for all kinds of reasons, and if you can know who your audience is and what problem you're solving, write those two things down. Know your audience and what problem you're solving, then that's going to take you all the way.
I'm going to see if I can find, there was someone who sent something to me that it was a really good way to verbalize this. People buy because of emotions backed with logic, but not the other way around. People don't buy because of logic backed with emotions. It's emotions, then logic. So there's still logic in there, and it's still backed by logic. But
you close with logic, right? I mean, you sell with emotion and you close with logic. So when you're selling with emotion, you obviously know what their pain points are at this point. So that's kind of the next thing I like to kind of bring up is sales, right? You should have a sales process. I don't care what process that is. It could be mine. It could be hers. It could be, which by the way, we have slightly different sales processes. Slightly. And I'm not just talking about the verbiage that we use, but like the actual flow of the conversation. Like for me, I'm going to greet. I'm going to fact find. I'm going to demo. I'm going to close. Like that's kind of like my process. Like she might has a slightly different process.
Yeah, it's more emotional based.
Yeah. Like, can you share a little bit about yours?
So it looks more like, you're still doing the great, you're still getting to know them, but it's more of digging into their why and their dream. And then figuring out how, more if we can help you versus, making it fit, but saying, hey, like, if this makes sense, if this could help, fix that pain point or get to your dream, would there make sense not to do it?
There are so many people on this planet, that I don't have to beg for sales. And I would not encourage you to look so desperate that you need sales. People buy when you're confident and they trust you. All right. And if they trust you because you're confident, and your confidence comes off, and it doesn't come off, I'll tell you, if you're desperate. If you're like really like, I gotta have this or I'm done, right? I mean, like it shows in how you talk.
Well, and you also want to be someone that you're in a position to not see everyone as a customer,
right?
Because not everyone is. And if your focus is just to sell everyone that walks through the door, then there might be a different motive than there should be.
Well, I would argue that everyone is a customer. Maybe that's not buying what you're selling. Okay. Everyone buys something.
Everyone might not make sense to be your customer, depending on your industry.
Sure.
Like say, you give gutters. Everyone probably is your customer that needs gutters. That's
how
not.
do you give gutters?
add gutters,
Install gutters.
whatever the words.
Here's some gutters.
You're giving them to them, giving them to their house. But whereas, on a more like someone who's doing coaching, you probably aren't the coach for everyone. That's not, not everyone is your customer, because not everyone's going to be the best fit for you or you for them. So I would argue, depending on what industry you're in, depending on what you do, that could, be more or less true, depending on, what your focus is.
A coach for everyone is a coach for no one. A product for everyone is a product for no one. I mean, you need to know.
Unless it's water.
Unless it's water. You need to know, or oxygen. You need to know who your customer is and what problem you solve. Those two questions, if you can answer those two questions and then back that with your vision, your mission, your core values, then you have a marketing plan that is unstoppable. Because now you know who your customer is, what the problem is, and you probably know where they are gathering. Okay? Like, why would I spend money over here, in paid ads, if all I have to do is go to the golf club and be a caddy? I could be a caddy and I could have conversations with some really high rollers. And guess what? They're paying me to have a conversation with them through tips. Peter was talking about the other day, his daughter. He goes, it's really hard to, convince my daughter to get into real estate because she's making $1,000 in tips at the golf club a day. So yeah, do the math. Okay, that's $365,000 if you work every single day. I would imagine it's probably closer to $250,000.
Yeah.
But $250,000 is what she's taking home for tips. Okay, and imagine the type of people that can throw around, hundreds of dollars like it's nothing, right? Those are the type of people you might want to be around, depending if that's your client and if you can solve a problem for them. So if you know where they are, you go there, and that's a great example of knowing who your customer is, what problem you solve, and knowing where they frequent. Whether it's a steak restaurant, whether it's a certain club, whether it's a maybe an association. Okay. There might be some associations that people are part of that, great. You just got to do your research. Okay. So, through fact finding, so your sales process, right? So, you do your greeting, and then you need to really dial in your objection handling skills. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because guess what? Every single person is going to throw an objection at you at some point. They're going to throw an objection at you. And if you could handle the objection like a complaint, I'm going to say that again, handle the objection like a complaint, then you're going to be able to breeze right through that. Hey, this is KIRK with Rescue Site. The reason for the call. Not interested. Well, of course you're not interested, sir. You don't have enough information to be interested. Let me ask you, do you have a current defibrillator program? And you go into your first fact-finding question. And all of a sudden, you handled that objection as a complaint, and so you acknowledged it, and you addressed it, and then you moved on so fast. He's like, what just happened? And then now he's answering a question about his defibrillator program that he does or doesn't have. Because guess what? Now you're in communication. Okay? So if you know those are the type of objections, complaints you might get in the greeting. You're going to get different kind of complaints and objections in the fact finding, different than the the closing. And whatnot. So like, there's all kinds of objections. I've had objections during, checking out. I mean, like the deal was closed, or like they verbally said, yes, I love it. All right, cool. And then we're putting in the last 4 digits of the credit card, and it's like, you know what? And then all of a sudden we get hit with an objection, right? So that, like, look, depending on where you are in the process, you're going to get different kinds of objections. By the way, the easiest way to handle buyer's remorse is a second sell. Buyer's remorse is a real thing. Man, I just spent $2,000 on a defibrillator. But guess what? You just sold them another $200 for a backup set of pads and batteries. Solid choice. Why? Because that, literally reinforced the fact that that first purchase was an excellent decision by adding an add-on accessory, right?
I've agreed with it so much. I got something else too.
Right. And so the only rule to this is you do not do a second sell until the first sell is completely done. Okay. So don't be like, hey, would you like to add on defibrillator pads and batteries, backup set of pads and batteries, and maybe infant pads? Would you like a program management? Would you like wall cabinet signage? All these things, right? You don't have that conversation, depending on the client, until after they make that first purchase, because then it's the second sell. Now it's part of the process of instilling that, man, they really did make a good decision, and they're reinforcing that decision by making another decision to invest into that particular program. Cool deal. You got anything else for me, babe?
Oh, we covered so much good stuff. I would say more is like a encouragement to those who have followed us so long. If you didn't watch all the videos, and even if you did, I would encourage going back and re-watching them.
Oh my goodness.
Because I'm sure that there's something that you were like, oh, that's great, and then you never actually implemented. So I would highly encourage you to go back and re-watch the videos. Maybe just start at the beginning. Oh, I think that first maybe start like a weekend. I feel like that first video might have been rough getting started. But
you're gonna notice completely different, us from the very beginning over a year ago when we just started figuring out this whole thing to
first
the
time doing
comfortability
this.
of us talking now is completely different.
But still good content there.
Content's great.
So maybe just listen to it instead of watch it.
You can laugh. It's okay. You can comment.
But I would go back and start going through and seeing what you haven't implemented yet or what you could implement still further from what's there.
And when you do that, I mean, honestly, you're going to, if you truly do that, then you're going to be seeing things, or maybe you've heard it before, but it's going to hit you differently because you're at a different point in your business where you can actually apply that properly to your business. As maybe you weren't 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10, whatever, we did that episode ago. So, anyway, listen, I want to, for those who are just now joining us, this is Rescue Owners Live. This is the season finale. This is the last live episode of Rescue Owners Live. We have been doing this for over a year, and it's all about helping you grow your business more effectively, efficiently, and profitably, all while achieving your personal, professional, financial goals. We are, in fact, moving to a paid programming. That paid programming is going to be a very affordable thing. It's in the works right now. And what that means is if you're interested in learning more information, I just put a link in the chat. Go ahead and follow that link. It is a form. That form requests your first name, last name, email, and phone number. And what we're going to do is we're just going to follow up with you and give you information about next steps to joining Rescue Owners Live 2.0. 2.0 is going to be all about a community group on a Zoom call where we can dig deep into specific scenarios, into your specific needs and what's going on in your business industry right here, right now, as opposed to Rescue Owners Live, where we were just kind of given broad information. So this will be face-to-face. We'll be able to, I've heard it put belly to belly. This sounds kind of weird, but I just wanted to share that with you because that just ruined so many things for me.
Wow.
All that to say, this group was like, yeah, we only do belly to belly sales. I'm like, what? I was like,
it's a new term.
I was like, you mean face to face? He goes, yeah. I was like, okay, whatever. Anyway, all that to say is I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being the best part of Rescue Owners Live for well over a year now that we've been doing weekly live shows that you can watch in real time or going back and rewatching. So thank you for being a part of that. Make sure to sign up using that form so that we can still stay in touch and still provide you with incredible value. That's all I have to say. Do you have anything else to say?
Just that this has been awesome. I've really enjoyed getting to delve into the things that people have asked or questions over the past year plus, and hope you keep reaching out with other stuff that we can touch on.
Well, I'll leave you with this. You mentioned questions. The quality of your questions determine your results, the outcome. All right. If you ask good questions, you're going to get good results. If you ask bad questions, you're going to get bad results. So make sure that the type of questions that you're asking, whether it's a fact-finding stage of the sales process or a conversation with a spouse during a heated debate, maybe. I mean, it could be anything, right? These are things that apply in life. Okay. Quality of your questions determine the quality of your results. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with PSS is goals. Remember how we talked about that we want to help you grow your business more effectively, efficiently, profitably, all while achieving your personal, professional, financial goals. Do me a favor, take some time tonight and sit down and think through, hey, what are my personal goals by the end of 2022? By the end of 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and 10 years from now? What does that look like? What is a personal goal? It could be one, it could be 5 things. But write down at least one personal goal that you want to see happen at the end of this year, 3, 5, and 10 years from now. I want you to do the exact same exercise with your professional goals. Where do you want to be professionally? And then by the end of this year, by the end of 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. Those are great segments, by the way. And then finally, financially. Where do you want to be financially at the end of this year? 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining myself, KIRK MOTE, your host, and your favorite co-host, BETH MOTE. It has been an honor to do this on a weekly basis for over a year. And I hope to see you on Rescue Owners Live 2.0. But until then, be great.